Today is the last lecture related to the chapter number 4, human development. Before we learned about the comparison between the countries on the basis of human development, took a quick recap. First is, what do you mean by growth and development? There is a difference between the growth and development. Growth is a quantitative technique and development is a qualitative concept, right? Growth can be positive or negative, while development will be always be positive, correct? Next, who gave the human development he was a Dr. Mehboob ul Haq in 1990 who gave us the idea of human development. He was a Pakistan scholar and he introduced the concept of human development. Right? According to him, income is not a sufficient criteria to create human development. It is only through the enlarges people's choice and improve their, then it will create conditions where people can lead meaningful lives, and only then we can consider the human beings are developed, right? This concept was further forwarded by the Professor Amartya Sen. Both the professors are from Asian countries. First is of Pakistan and second is from India. And Amartya included increase in freedom to make choices. It is necessary to building up capabilities, and to make the building of capabilities there are three necessary things which are known as the indicator of human development, that is health, second is education, and third is equal access to resources. For the health, we took life expectancy at now the human development, the concept of human development is based upon four pillars. There are four necessary conditions on which the development can be possible. First is equity. Equity means equal. If all the persons in a country have the equal access to opportunities irrespective of any gender, race, any discrimination, that is called equity, right? If one person one person will be developed, the whole country will be developed, and it needs the equal opportunities to all to develop even a single person of a country. Second is sustainability. Develop doesn't mean that we have the right to use the resources for just for only ourselves in the present day. It needs that the future generation have also access to these resources, and it can be possible when we use these availabilities, use these resources in a sustainable manner, so that we can develop and it can be preserved for the future generation also, so that the developed can be a continuous process. Third pillar was the productivity. Productivity means the capability, and the capability, productivity means labor. Labor productivity. Labor in the labor is considered as the productivity of a human being. How much we can do in a one day. So that will be considered productivity. So this can be enriched by the knowledge, skill, education, and good health. Fourth is empowerment. Empowerment when we are enough strengthened to make choices of our own. That is called empowerment. And this type of empowerment comes from the government policies, by the good guidance, by the skill, right? So time to time there is a amendment and there is a changing in the human development concept, right? Time to time the scholars include some things according to the circumstances of that time. They included some other concepts also in development. First of all, in initial we can classify these developments in four stages, four approaches. First is income approach. Income approach, when the scholar thought that on the income is the only criteria of development. Higher the income, higher the development. Then second approach come, that's known as welfare approach. The scholars thought that income is not sufficient uh, to think that a person is developed. There must be welfare of the persons. If the government is providing the basic facilities like health, education, and amenities to the people, then the country will be considered as developed. So they here the basic role or the main role is of government. Government is a active part, and the citizens are passive part in this approach. The third approach was basic need approach. If a person in a country has been provided by the six basic needs, these basic needs are considered as health, education, food, water supply, sanitation, and housing, then the country or the person will be considered as developed. And this approach was given by ILO, International Labor Organization. The last approach is capability approach, which is given by Patton, and he included that beside the income, welfare, and basic need, it is necessary to make a human capable, and it can be increased by the improvement in health, sorry, in health, education, and access to resources in each the three spheres. Then the person and the country will be considered as developed. Now, how can we measure that a person or a country is developing or not? So, to solve this purpose, there are ways. First is Human Development Index, and second is Human Poverty Index. Human Development Index gives an idea of attainment of any country. That is HTI. HTI is based upon the development, and it gives the ranks to the country between 0 to 1. Nearer to 1, the higher development. Nearer to 0, it means less development. Okay? So it gives us the idea when we goes towards the one, then it shows that we are attaining in health status, in education sphere, and all, and no doubt in income wise also. Second is Human Poverty Index. It is the measurement of poverty in any country. It means it shows the shortfall are lacking. It gives us an idea about those areas where we are lacking, and we need to improve we need to improve in those areas so that we can improve our STI rank also. Right. So if this index is based on the probability of not surviving till 40, it means it is the lacking of medical facilities. Adult literacy rate is low. people not having access to clean drinking water, yani not proper safe and clean environment, number of underweight children, because it shows that undernourished children due to the and human development gives the idea of attainments. Right now, United Nations Development Program, UNDP, United Nations Development Program, since 1990, it is the work of UNDP to publish the Human Development Report by measuring the Human Development Index and Human Poverty Index. It considered both the index, development index, and the human poverty index. But this situation is separate for Bhutan. In Bhutan, there is a human development is taken in the form of gross national happiness, because the person of the country Bhutan thought that there must be development but not at the cost of environment. So clean and safe environment is must to live happily, so they take the gross national happiness as a STI. So they believe in the qualitative aspect of development. Now come to our last topic, that is international comparison. If we talk that the USA, Canada is a developed country, India is developing, and Nigeria is a underdeveloped country, how can we classify these countries into these categories? So to divide the countries, to compare the countries on the basis of development, STI help us. STI help us. And as I told you, the countries are ranked between 0 to 1. And to prepare the HDI, we took the three indicators health wise. We gave UNDP gave the rank to the countries on the health basis, means medical facilities. We took life expectancy at birth to indicate the health status. Second indicator is second ranking given by the UNDP on the education basis, how literate persons are there in a country, right? So in this indicator, UNDP took adult uh, literacy rate. Adult literacy rate means any person above age 18 who can read and write will be considered as a literate person. Secondly, school gross enrollment ratio. How many students are enrolled to the school? So by these method, by these terms, the UNDP ranks the country on education basis. Third is access to resources. Access to resources means purchasing power, right? So it is related to income. To compare the countries on the basis of access to resources, or to rank the countries on the basis of access to resources, the per capita income is to be considered by the UNDP. Yeah. So these are the three indicators on which basis UNDP compare the country. UNDP ranks to the country. So they are ranked. There are three indicators, and each of indicator they have ranked 1. So these are 1 upon 3. That the rank is between 0 to 1. If a country got rank towards near the 1, it will be shows higher STI. If a country is nearer to the 0, it will shows the low HTI in each and every sphere: health, education, and access to resources, right? On this basis, when the three ranks were given by the UNDP, lastly they sum total the rank in the health, in the education, and access to resources, and it is the finally STI rank of that country. On these basis, to compare the countries, there are four level of HDI. First is very high level of human development. If the country is scoring 0.802, if the country is scoring 0.802 above 0.802, the country will be considered as very high level of country. The top 10 very high value index countries are: the first, it is a map based question also, the country with highest STI, that is Norway. Remember it. So 10 top countries are Norway, Australia, Netherlands, United States, New Zealand, Canada, Ireland, Liechtenstein, Germany, and Sweden. What is the cause behind it? Why these countries scored so much high rank? This is due to the education and health facilities in their countries, because the government of these countries make more and more expenditure for the welfare of the people in the education sector, in the health sector, and it consequences of it that the rank of health and education got higher, and due to the better education and due to the better health status, the income and the economic growth of these countries also get higher. So they are considered as a very high level of human development. Second category is high level of human development. The country scoring between 0.702 to 0.801 are grouped under it. There are 56 countries in this category. 49 countries were in the first category, high level of development. 56 countries are getting high level of human development. The major cause of high level of human development in these countries are good governance and lot of investment in social sector also, right? Third is medium level of human development. The country is scoring 0.555 and 0.701. If the country is scoring between 0.555 and 0.701, they are considered as medium level of human development. And 39 countries are falling in this group. The medium level of development, what is the cause of medium level of development in these countries? Basically these countries are former colonies. These were under the uh, uh, other countries for many years, like our India, like, so they were under the influence of their colonies, and that's why there is a slow growth rate of everything, whether they are illiteracy, whether they are health status, whether we if we talked about the income. So but after independence from the colonial rule, they are getting much higher economic growth. So they are doing much effort in these areas to make their country developed. That is the result. These country falls in the category of medium level of human development. Moreover, due to the colonial rule, there was political instability, there was social diversity also. Social diversity is a very evil cause of development. After independence, when our constitution was made up and some provisions were there for these caste, scheduled tribes and the untouchables, they got abolish. uplifted. Right? So that's why now we are achieving the medium level of human development. The last is low level of human development. The countries who scored below 0.554 are grouped under this category, and there are 44 countries are in this category. During the low level of human development, what is the cause of low level of human development? Because these countries are still facing colonial rule and the political turmoil. There is no political instability. There is a social instability. There are civil war, famines, diseases. All these hinder the development of that country, because the most of the expenditure of their government is upon for on the defense purposes, for the medical purposes. So they can't be they can't expend their finance on welfare of the country. So the priority of these countries to make the stability in their countries, and they have to spend more and more for these purposes that hinder the human development in those countries. Now, internal comparison reveal that the cultural, religion and community are non-determinants of human development. Sometimes we think that the culture, religion and community, they are they are the determinant of human development, but it is not so, because the pattern of government expenditure on social sector, political environment, amount of freedom people have, and the distribution of resources play a very important role to increase the level of human development. We can't say, some people thought that if there is many religion in a country, or there is a many section of the society in a country, it cannot be developed. But it is not true, because if a government of any country is expanding their finance resources on the political environment, on the social sector, to increase the freedom of people, and it distribute the resources among their people irrespective of any discrimination, no doubt the country will develop. So these are the important aspects of development for any country. So here we completed this chapter. If you have any doubt, now you can ask. Students, if you have any doubt, now you can ask. Just raise your hand. The host will allow you to unmute.